claiming 345 and Bristol got in touch.
My hidden agents discovered a powerful Vex. A conductive mind below the bones of Freehold. It has the arc source you need. Find it.
It won't be easy. The Freehold tunnels are still crawling with Vex.
Good. Storms emerge from conflict.
Right there. Oh, you've got to beat a 14-year-old girl this evening, haven't you? If you haven't, you've been chatting to a 14-year-old girl online.
This is a case of mistaken identity. The man accused starts
No, as you might just like the agency behind us was executing us about trying to get away from the police officer and get back into the vehicle. Denying the key to the person of the police officer. He's also waiting for the The police were professional, as always. The police were always professional and courteous. Obviously, he's been arrested. They've seen enough evidence to make the arrest.
It turned out the man was 49 and
Don't shy from the darkness, Guardian.
by Aiden and Somerset Police pending further investigations. Meanwhile, Danny Catcher has more things set up. Every parent has to make. If we get it wrong, then it could end up in a legal battle. So what's the right path to leave a child at home alone?
For evening, I prefer sort of age 15, 16, and once the child can show me they're responsible.
If your parents go out for like an hour or so, I think 12, I reckon, on your own. But any more than that,
I would say, because I think that's maybe what
Cora? There's an army down here.
Overcome it. They will keep you from reaching their master.
absolutely. The laws should be left alone. What it does is that what we want to
Ikora, those constructs were supercharged with arc energy. The whole area is saturated with power.
Find the conductive mind. You're not finished until its arc is yours.
Queen Street is one of Oxford's busiest roads. As you can see, thousands of people use this route on a daily basis. And with the work going on just over there, it's set to get even busier once the redevelopment of the Westgate Shopping Centre opens this October. It's expected to bring in 15 million visitors to this city. And that's one of the main reasons why Oxfordshire County Council has decided to keep Queen Street closed to buses, taxis and private hire vehicles for another 18 months.
The transport ban here on Queen Street has been in place for just over a year, prompted by safety concerns ahead of the opening of the £440 million but now extended to
becomes like corn markets on a Saturday afternoon, buses simply couldn't run.
Other options put forward by the bus companies include a turning circle for buses near Worcester Street, or possibly narrowing Queen Street so it's more obvious where buses can pass through. This decision, though, rests on approval from the government. The matter has now been referred to the Secretary of State and it could take between 6 to 8 weeks. Adina Campbell, BBC Sound Today.
The government-backed scheme at Milton College seems like it's made to be provide work experience and long-term learning. Many of its students
problems and learning difficulties. He's also found his dream job. The 19-year-old came to the sponsored internship scheme at Milton Keynes College, determined to work in a hotel. In 4 months to secure a full-time job.
I feel real happy that I've been employed here. This goes down once a day to current DHR. We've also looked a little bit more widely at the opportunities available, yet the conditions that lend themselves very much to those that may have learning difficulties in one way or another. So it's caused us to look at this with much more variety of what we do and how we can resolve the staffing shortage problems that we all have, particularly in this industry. The college course takes students with conditions such as autism, cerebral palsy and ADHD and matches them with most as well as they go,
Later in the programme, lighting up the skies, we'll be sharing your photos of last night's storm action. A fierce battle is raging over the future playing fields in Reading that were gifted to the town 80 years ago. Backers of a free school want to use part of the site for a brand new building, but supporters of the Maple Durham playing fields in Caversham are opposing the move. The trustees of the playing fields are now consulting over whether they should accept £1.3 million to let the Heights Primary create a new permanent home. Steve Humphrey reports.
The Heights School has been squeezed onto its temporary site in Reading for 2 years now. The space of this free school is rapidly running out.
At the end of next year, we will have no more indoor space. There's very limited external space, as you've seen when you've looked around at the street like this.
Unless there's another lightning-powered deathbot down here. I think that's the conductive mind. Lycora, we've neutralized the conductive mine.
Then I hope you've learned from its defeat. Let's teach you to wield lightning, Guardian.
Carriageways and flyovers, and through all the analysis, came to the conclusion there's only one option that represents good value for taxpayers' money.
You've offered a plan A. There is no plan B.
That's correct.
The cost, around £70 million. A bypass for Worthing has been talked about for 70 years, taking a dual carriageway into the South Downs National Park. 20 years ago, it nearly happened. It was cancelled. Since then, very little has changed. A year ago, 750 people packed the meeting and called for a bypass instead.
There is not the political will to actually tackle the A27 properly along the south coast. It requires taking out of the residential areas. It passes through Salting, Lancing, Worthing, Arundel and Chichester before it gets to a sensible stretch of road.
A real problem is that 2/3 of the traffic is local. Only 1/3 is passing through without changing direction. The bigger picture is this. The bottlenecks on the main South Coast Road all need work. Plans for a controversial bypass
Mars.
around Arundel...
The Vex crawl across her surface, seeking out rare arc storms, bathing in their power like hot springs. We have located one on the far frontier. If you are to call the storm, to learn the trance, you must go. And let nothing stand against you.
On to sport, Andy Moon is here. The Open tomorrow.
Very much a great time if you look at golf fans. 3 Hampshire golfers, Justin Rose, Richard Lamb, and Harry Ellis will swing off tomorrow morning.
Find a space to clear your mind, Guardian. This is how a Stormcaller begins.
It could be a special weekend. Justin Rose
Amateurs at Open Trio practice together for the first time this morning. A chance for a young amateur who has a hot career.
Is aware of you, but you need its loyalty. Do it again.
Okay, Andy, thank you very much. Now, having said that, people want to go home.
The storm begins to obey. Once more, Guardian. Your lightning walks its own path. A show of force is in order. Call the lightning and become one. You will either rise a Stormcaller or not at all.
Hi. I think about 20 past 3 or something like that. Are you okay? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Don't they have like a waiting place? Because I remember once they were late. They wait for the parents to come pick them up. They asking me to pick up from school, but I can find out if you can pick up from Nikita's place. I mean, that's the most obvious one. I mean, I used to go pick her up after work, you see.
A Stormcaller rises. Let's turn our attention to the Vex. They're here for the Ark. Show them the Ark.
See, from school. You see, when Debbie was here, she used to do that because Debbie wasn't doing anything. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell her, look, I'll just tell her, look, I can only pick her up after work. I don't know what the situation is. Why they ask me. Yeah. Okay, let me find out. Okay, let me find out more. I don't know what's going on. Okay, thanks. Cheers, bye.
None stand against you, and the wind is at your back. You are a storm caller, and you wear the mantle well. The storm is both an answer and a question. As you carry your spark from this place, remember this, and teach this lesson to those that would drag you from the skies.
The director, Anton Corbijn, shot the video for the Bunnymen single for the game during their tour of which South American country in 1987?
Mexico.
Brazil. Which song includes the chorus, "Fate up against your will, through the thick and thin, he will wait until you give yourself to him"? Yes. The Bunnymen opened their headline Saturday night set at the 85 Glastonbury Festival with a version of which Jonathan Richman song?
Sarah.
She cracked. What was the name of the first manager of the Bunnymen who, with David Balfe, formed Zoo Management? He was replaced by Mick Hancock in 1984.
Bill Drummond.
Yep. The video for which Echo and the Bunnymen single features Will Sargent dressed as a fish, Les Patterson as a penguin, and Ian McCulloch in drag.
Bring on the dancing horse. Sorry. Oh.
Which 1985 single release that also features on the soundtrack of the film Pretty in Pink opens with the lyrics, Jimmy Brown, Made of Stone, Charlie Clown, No Way Home.
Dancing horse.
Yes. Which Indian violinist features on the group's third album, Porcupine?
Tony.
Shankar, who temporarily replaced Ian McCulloch as the band's lead singer in 89. He formerly sung with the band since Mike Dance. The band had a top 10 comeback hits in 97 with a single that features Liam Gallagher on backing vocals. Which song?
Evergreen.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing like forever.
Nothing like it. That's the thing, isn't it? You get the second off.
I'm so scared.
Well, look, you're not alone. Janice, you've got 6 points.
Okay, that's it.
And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Paul Carrick
Your chosen charity.
is the Royal Trinity Hospital.
And your chosen subject?
Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday. In 90 seconds, Sheffield Wednesday was founded in 1867. In 1899, they moved to their current home ground, which was originally called Owlerton, but is now known by what name?
Hillsborough.
Yep. Who joined the club from Marseille in 1992?
Yo.
Chosen by the Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year at the end of his first season. Which one? Yep. The first of Wednesday's 3 FA Cup final victories was in 1896, when Craig Stixley scored both goals in a 2-1 win against which club?
Wolverhampton.
Yep. Which Serbian-American businessman bought the club in 2010 and sold it in 2015? Yep. The club won 4 league titles between 1903 and 30, although since then, the nearest they've come to a 5th is finishing runners-up behind which team in 1961? Yep. Jack Charlton managed the club from 1977 till 83. Which former Wednesday player replaced him? Yeah, he was banned for 11 matches for pushing the referee to the ground after being sent off during a match against Arsenal in 1998. Yep, Wednesday played on Christmas Day for the last time in 1957, where they drew 4-4 at home against which club? Preston. In 1935, Wednesday won the FA Cup for the 3rd time. Who scored in all 6 of their matches, including the winner in the final?
Elshman.
Yep. Wednesday played in the Premier League from its foundation in 92 until they were relegated in which year? 2000. Yes, which club did Wednesday beat 3-1 on aggregate in the 2016 Championship playoff semi-finals before losing to Hull City in the final?
Brighton.
Brighton is correct. Well, almost all right for 10 points. But that's a close contest so far. Let's have a look at all the scores. 4th place, 6 points. Janice. 3rd place, 7 points. Kate. Joint 1st place, 10 points apiece. Graham and Paul. So, the general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of it, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with fewer passes is the winner. Get on with it, and ask Janice to join us again.
Something I can buy.
And we've got something in common, I
Down.
Bad weather on this one.
And I opposite end go to work as you come to finish. What?
I finish at 3 in the morning. I get home about 6:30.
But
We're understaffed already. Can't fix the roofs.
Well, it's great because the audience are really listening.
Non-secure channels locked down.
They're very innovative. They've got time to, join in.
Check.
Or whatever. They're very funny. And, of course, people forget that, when they're in bed, they're baking the bread, they're printing the newspapers, they're looking after the sick, they're putting
Confirmed.
Students who are doing dissertations. I even had a bloke get in touch with me who's doing IVF for salmon. So it's all going on.
Doing IVF for salmon?
Yeah, and I googled
Happy to help.
see if that was possible, and it does exist.
Good.
You've been doing it for a long time, haven't you?
I have been working for the BBC with June 79.
Sure you know what you're aiming at.
I joined Radio Merseyside, and I remember seeing you in the newsroom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I started on Merseyside for the BBC.
So come back before I get bored.
Right, now, Janet, you are 6 points so far. Plenty of time to catch. Well, 2 minutes to catch up. And you're massive general.
Calm down.
Here we go. What is the name of the Sentinel chat show hostess who was originally created by Carolina Hearn as an agony aunt for local radio?
Doris.
Mrs. Burton. Chien is the French word for which animal?
Sorry.
Chien. Which country finished third in the gold medal table, behind the USA and Team GB, at the 2016 Olympic Games?
China.
Yes. In a Disney animated film, what is the name of the lonely Hawaiian girl who adopts an ugly extraterrestrial creature and calls it Stitch?
Tony.
No, Lilo. What smoked fish is used in the Scottish soup Cullen skink?
Haddock.
Goodbye.
Which film sold out topped the UK singles chart for 5 weeks in 2016, with 7 years. It was the UK's longest reigning #1 by a Danish actor.
I know them.
Rick's weird. He plots.
Thomas.
We must act with speed and
Throttle
cunning.
is an archaic name for which songbird?
Sorry?
Throttle is an archaic name for which songbird?
Thrush.
Yes. According to the theme song of the children's television series that was first broadcast in 1976, if your mansion has
Avenge
needs
the dead.
haunting, who should you call?
If your
Mansion house needs haunting, who should you call?
Honor is earned.
Joe.
Brentford? Which celebrated
He comes
English
for you.
landscape painter had the four names Joseph Mallord Williams? JMW.
Constable.
Turnout. The songs If I Were a Bell, Luck Be a Lady, and The Butcher and the Peck, which stage musical was rooted and lived by Frank Messer. Pigs. Yes, Guys and Dolls, you see, that's the point. The island of Hoy, famous for its rock stack known as the Old Man, is the second largest of which group of islands off the north of Scotland? Islands off the north of Scotland?
Shetlands.
Oh, nearly. Oh. But anyway, you got into double figures. You had 10 points.
Thank you very much.
And now Kate, again, please. And try to think, if you said to somebody a few years ago, I became famous because I watched telly.
Yeah.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a crazy idea for a TV show, isn't it? But the whole reason that we ended up doing the show was because I pronounced this couple, Gary and Tracy, husband and wife, and then the music started playing, and I started dancing, and they danced, and the congregation danced, and they put that online, and it got 7 million hits.
7 million?
I know.
And what did the bishops do?
Well, we were between bishops at that time, so, it's always easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission, Jack.
Right. So when you're doing the show, Gogglebox, your husband actually, he doesn't, Graham, he doesn't say very much.
Do you know what? He says loads. You can't shut him up, but he speaks in very, very long sentences, and he's not that interested. So they chop him up.
Can I just remind you that another one of the Christian tales is charity. There's,
Graham's the only reason I started going to church. I'm not from a religious family at all. I was at school and I saw this gorgeous young man crossing the quad at school, and I said to my friend, "Who's that?" And she said, "It's the vicar's son." I thought, well, I better start going to church then, aren't I?
That was it.
That was it. And he
So
went,
it was lust that got
well,
you
you know, you call it lust, I call it infatuation, but, you know, I only went for a snog and I ended up with a dog collar. It's not really what I had in mind.
Right, now you've got 7 points.
I did.
So far.
Oh.
Now you've got 2 minutes of general knowledge now.
Okay.
This is where you... Oh, well, I don't...
So pick up Gracie after work.
Oh, there we go. Fine, that's right. So we all get the same.
Okay.
Right, here we go. In which European capital city are the ruins of the Colosseum and the Circus Maximus?
Rome.
Yeah. A Kleenex reader is a selective barrier used by people engaged in what pastime or occupation?
Sailing.
Beekeeping. In which ocean is the Mariana Trench, which contains the Challenger Deep, the deepest known point on Earth, around 36,000 feet below sea level?
The Atlantic.
The Pacific. The aspen or trembling poplar belongs to which family of trees?
The fir tree.
Willow. What name was given to the light plastic hoop first manufactured in the late 50s that was used as a toy for children and an exercise aid for adults? Yeah. Who in 1970 became the first actor to be awarded a life peerage? He took Brighton as part of his title.
David Attenborough.
Lord Olivia. With which song did Benny King finally top the UK singles chart in 1987, nearly 26 years after its first entry?
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Stand by me. Which topical television panel game has Paul Merton and Ian Hislop as team captains and is hosted by a different guest presenter each week?
Have I got news for you?
Yeah. What general term is used for schemes that encourage drivers to leave their vehicles outside congested city centre areas and complete their journey by public transport?
Park and ride.
Yes. The name of which long-distance challenge in Britain undertaken by cyclists and walkers is known as Le Jog, from the first letter of its start and end point?
The Land's End to John O'Brien.
Yes, which London street, that was once famous for journalism, adjoined Salisbury Court, where the diarist Samuel Pepys was born in February 1633.
Fleet Street.
Yep, which actress has starred in the big screen comedies Bridesmaids, Spy, The Heat, and the 2016 all-female remake of Ghostbusters?
Melissa McCarthy.
Yes, in the jargon of the old American West, Boot Hill referred to what?
Graveyard.
Yeah, cemetery. Victoria, Cambridge, Gage, and Mirabelle are all varieties of which fruit?
Peach.
Plum. In the Norfolk-based television series Kingdom, what is the profession of the title character played by Stephen Fry?
Police officer.
No, solicitor. Which DJ, who died in October 2004, said the Teenage Kicks by the Undertones was his favourite record, played at his funeral? Think of a DJ.
2004 DJ.
Make it quick.
Trying to think of one that's not still alive so I don't offend anybody.
Well, that would be wise.
Terry Wogan.
No, it was John Peel. Yeah, there you go. You've now got a total case of 15 points. And now Graham again, please. And business of doing what many of my interviewees do. So you're a spinner.
Yes. I'm better than they are, though.
You're better than that. Yeah, well, that's true. We don't... Yeah, that's quite... So, look, you got the ball.
Yeah.
And do you put the spin... Yeah, go on. Show me.
Well, the official way, the MCC way of coaching at the Marylebone Cricket Club is you put the ball between your fingers and pretend you're opening a doorknob. So that's, in the rough and short bit, that's how you do it.
Sounds easy.
But I used to ram it further in my hand and try and rip it as hard as I could. It's not very good for your fingers. I've just about got the skin back on my knuckle. I've been playing 3 years.
Honestly?
Yeah.
And what... Well, you were amongst the best. I mean, what is it? What is it that makes one spinner better than another?
I think spinners have to be very mentally strong, because if you get hit for 6, as a fast bowler you can bowl a bounce to the next ball and try and frighten the batsman. As a spinner you can't do anything. You're 50 miles an hour and they can hit you further and further out the ground. So you've got to be very thick-skinned and very thick, as my dad used to say to me.
I'd never thought of that, because yes, it looks, as a spectator who knows nothing about the game, it looks so much easier to dash a spinning ball than one that's coming at
you. Put a brave face on and pretend it's all part of the master plan. Yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you'd been a fast bowler?
No, not a wicket keeper, definitely. All those cold days in April, they get big blood in the air. I didn't.
They've got to run around. Right, you've got 10 points so far, and 15 is the score to beat. Let's see if you can do it with your general knowledge. Here we go. Which vegetable can be French, runner, or baked bean? Yes, the BBC drama series Poldark, based on the novel by Winston Graham. is set in which English county? Come on. Yep, the name of which electronic device is derived from the words transfer resistor? Radio? Transistor. In the 1972 film The Godfather, what is put in the producer Jack Woltz's bed to make him change his mind and give a film role to Johnny Fontaine? The horse's head. Yes. What word can mean either a large basket used for laundry, or picnics, or to increase the progress of something? Yes. Which American cavalry officer's last stand was the Battle of Little Bighorn, where he was killed in 1876? Woodcuster. Yes. Which band had their biggest UK single with If You Leave Me Now, which topped the charts in 1976? They're named after the American city where they formed in 1966. Do I sing it to you instead? Go on then. Leave me now. Right, now give me the answer. Oh, Philadelphia. Chicago. What name is given to the rough granular leather typically made from the skin of a shark or ray and frequently dyed green? Shagreen. Which popular variety of potato with a white skin with pink coloration was introduced in 1902 and named after the monarch who was crowned that year? King Edward. Yep. In the Superman comic, what is the name of Clark Kent's girlfriend whom he finally married in 1996? Lois Lane. Yep. Which future dictator was born in Braunau am Inn in Austria on the 20th of April 1889? Adolf Hitler. Yes. Wallasey, West Kirby and Williston are all places on which peninsula in northwest England? Birkenhead. Wirral. Which rock star has played the title roles in the films Listomania, Tommy and Macbeth?
Please report to the Vanguard for instructions on the Oryx situation.
Yep. In pantomime, what name is given to the leading male role traditionally played by a woman in tights? Dane. Principal boy. The song Oh Pretty Woman, which is the recurrent theme of the film Pretty Woman, was written by Bill Geese and who? Roy Orbison. Roy Orbison is correct. No passes, Graham. You've now got 20 points. And finally, Paul again, please. And Paul, yeah, you've been singing for a long time. It's 40 years plus, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I didn't start out singing, actually. I started out playing drums, and I sold the drums to buy an organ, although I couldn't play very much at all, in order to join the local soul band. But I didn't sing it until about 10 years down the road.
It's been a long time ago.
Long enough, yeah.
And I listen whether, as a singer, you have to keep adapting your style as the years, the decades go by.
Best watch yourself.
I mean, I've always been into all kinds of music. I've got a very wide taste. And, I think the era that influenced me the most was around the 60s. I was a big fan of soul music and Motown and all that sort of stuff. And that's been my major influence. And that kind of goes in and out of style a little bit. But I don't think it's a good idea at my age to be trying to follow trends.
Well, why would you? I mean, why would you? Presumably you don't need to because people like you your music.
Well, I think so. I mean, I'm enjoying this
Let's
stage.
see what we have then.
It's probably the most
Return at
enjoyable.
once if you learn anything about it.
Really? Yeah, I think so.
I'm a little more established now as a solo artist. I've been in local town. I have a real nice following of people that still come to the shows, and they're very encouraging. And so yeah, no, things are...
All pilots, have your ships inspected for radiation and NOS stability before extraplanetary flight.
Here we go. 2 minutes in which to do it. Which rotor did
What can the Vanguard supply
in
for
the
you?
late 19th century has displaced its native red counterpart in most parts of the country? Squirrel. Yep, the Great Squirrel. Which cyclist became Britain's most decorated Olympian at the Rio Games when he won his 8th medal and 5th gold in the team pursuit event? Yep. Which 1948 Cole Porter stage musical based on a Shakespeare comedy features the songs Wunderbar, I Hate Men, and Brush Up to Shakespeare?
My Fair Lady.
Kiss Me Kate. What type of beer known by the initials IPA gets its name because it was originally intended for the Far Eastern market?
Indian Pale Ale?
Yep. Which children's television series of 1980 featured occasional appearances by Barbara Windsor as Saucy Nancy, as ship's figurehead, Lorraine Chase as Dolly Clothespeg, and Billy Connolly as Bogle McNeep, an angry Scottish scarecrow? Was it
No idea.
No, which classic children's book by Arthur Ransom was brought to the screen in 2016 in a film directed by Philippa Latham? The Invincibles, Swallows and Amazons. What two words complete the proverb, a watched pot?
Whatever you need to continue the
Which
fight,
holiday resort on the North Wales coast is named after the 6th century saint who built a cell on the Great Orme that headland that overlooks the valley? Yes, which large eagle is named after the malign creature in Greek mythology who were half bird and half...
Hell of a morning.
Venus. Harpy. The sharp-topic album released by the Beatles in 1968 called The Beatles is usually known by what name after the colour of the sea? Right. Yes, Roquefort made in France is a variety of what fruit? Cheese. Yep. Which letter, the third of the Greek alphabet, corresponds to the Roman letter G? Gamma. In The Muppet Show, what are the names of the two grumpy old men who watch and heckle the cast from their seats in a box?
Wilson and Henderson.
Statler and Waldorf. What nickname was given to the world's first wide-body jetliner, the Boeing 747, and came into service in 1970? Jumbo.
Anything happening today, Guardian?
Correct. You did well, but not enough. You got 18 points. Okay, good. Well, Graham held on to his lead. Let's have a look at all the scores. In fourth place, 10 points, Janice. Third place, 15 points, Kate. Second place, 18 points, Paul. First place, 20 points, Graham.
Not quite the Ashes, but at least you can take it up. I think it's better, to be honest. Well, at least this is the real thing. You don't get to touch the real Ashes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be a celebrity to take part in the regular Mastermind program. If you would like to appear in the next series on BBC Two, then
Guardians, please prioritize the Oryx situation.
And you can follow us on Twitter at Mastermind Crew. And do join us again next time for more Mastermind. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Exchange complete.
Coming up on BBC One, rude awakenings for fraudsters and armed robbers here and in Spain next. Then Brian Blessed has plenty to shout about.